Hey, Rock Loves, Lily Sixx of Rock Rage Radio on the phone with the lovely and talented musician Bridjitte West. How are you today?
I'm good, but it's actually 8:30 in the evening where I am in the UK. I'm good.
That's truth. Yeah, it is much later for you. So there are many people who are familiar with who Bridjitte West is, but for those who are not, why don't you give me a little bit of background? How did you get started in music?
Well, I'm best known for my band called the New York Loose, and we released an album called Year of the Rat on Hollywood Records, which was it around 1997. Lots of people like it. It's still one of those records that people talk about today, but yeah.
Very cool. And who do you think your biggest influences are musically?
I think that sort of changes depending on what mood I'm in,
Okay.
probably.
That's fair.
But I quite like, I think when I was growing up, I think the Ramones and Blondie and the Stooges were probably my big favorite bands.
So a little punk in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Very cool. And you do have the new album out, appropriately named Lockdown. What was the inspiration behind the album besides the obvious lockdown part?
Yeah, I guess, well, basically it was one of the first things I've ever done where it was just me and my guitar. I just picked up my acoustic guitar and recorded some video that I then posted on my Facebook page, and that was kind of how it started. So I ended up taking those recordings and just mastering them for an album, and then I recorded 2 new songs in a studio, but actually I had to do them remotely because in the UK lockdown was incredibly brutal, so we couldn't even go into studios and work without getting into major trouble.
Right.
So I recorded the vocals in my house, sort of, remotely, and yeah, it was a really, really interesting way to work.
Yeah, I saw you had some an interesting experience with that. You had to do like some vocals in like a broom cabinet or
yeah, I did,
which I think is pretty cool.
I did. I had to do it. Yeah, exactly. I turned it into a vocal booth.
That's very Beatles of you. I love that. And then you did live video on your iPhone, of course, which is easy enough.
Yeah. I think it was sort of like, okay, well, it's only on my iPhone, but it sounds okay. And what's really cool is that they're just all one take. So obviously there's no overdubs or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, what you're hearing is just me playing my guitar live pretty much, and then I just, we just mastered the recording so they sounded a bit better and put them out.
Very cool. I love it. So what song on the album Lockdown do you think speaks to you the most?
I mean, it's my least rock and roll song I think I've ever written, but it's called Let's Build a Fire.
Mm-hmm.
And that song is, it's basically about getting to a point in your life where you feel that you can sort of take the things that you no longer need, and, whether that's sort of emotional or whatever, and, just sort of put it on a fire and just say goodbye to it, like, things that don't serve you any longer. So Let's Build a Fire is about talking to somebody about that process and asking them if they'd like to do that together.
Very nice. I do love that. And where can people get this album? Where can they find it?
Well, they can, if they want an actual CD, they can order one at BRIJITTEWEST.com. It's BRIJITTE West.com. They can listen to it on all the sort of music streaming platforms that are out there as well.
Wonderful. And so I don't know your current situation in the UK or about the lockdown or anything, but are you currently touring, or do you plan on anticipating on doing a tour?
Well, I am talking about that at the moment. I don't have any plans right now, but I will let you know. I mean, it's sort of something that's in the ether there, so we'll see. Okay,
yeah, that would be great. I think you'd be fantastic live.
Thank you. I do enjoy playing live, yeah.
And if you could share the stage with any musician, dead or alive, who would you share it with?
It would have to be Paul McCartney.
Yeah?
I'm a huge Beatles fan.
Very cool. Alrighty. So, are there any shout outs that you want to give this evening?
I just want to say thanks for listening, and for anyone that still remembers, I'm still here. I want to say a big shout out to Paul Unger, who sets up my interviews and does lots of stuff for me behind the scenes. So that's a big shout out to Paul Unger.
Yeah, Paul's great. I've known him for a little while. We've worked together before. He's just a sweetheart.
He is.
Alrighty, awesome. So thank you so much for being on the show, Bridget. It was a pleasure speaking to you, and we do hope to see more from you soon, hopefully live here in the United States sometime. But yeah, it was a pleasure.
Thank you. Pleasure was mine.
Thank you. And listeners, be sure to check out Bridjitte West's recent album, Lockdown, out now. And as her other albums as well, you will not be disappointed. She is a fantastic lady of rock.
Oh, thank you so much, Lily.
Thank you.